Yo, what is up, Crockxen clan members, Elysian League fans, and others who will stumble upon this video? I am SoresanCrockxen, and today we're here with week 4, or week 5. I don't even know anymore. Anyways, today I am joined by the Swish, Miss Swishy.
Yo, what is up, Crockxen clan?
Okay, stop. No, we're not doing that. And Mr. Cubchoo.
Hello.
Best profile picture in Amino, right there. Wow. Anyways, today we are here to do our preview for week 5. This is gonna be well, technically there's 2 videos that are gonna be going. One on this channel, one on Agron's channel. I will leave a link to his channel in the description so you can watch that video. As soon as it goes live, I will post a link to the video directly. And we're gonna divide this up. We're gonna talk about Team Magma, the Team Magma conference first, and then the Team Magma conference. As you can see right now, this is Team Magma. 4 matches for each conference. Let's get started. So we have the first match, Zen of the South Florida Celebrities versus Doruk, the Kentucky Fried Combustions. Cubchoo, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so Doruk has a very hyper offensive team. Zen has a slightly bulkier, but nothing too meaty on his team besides maybe a Clefable. Doruk's team has a very big fairy weakness, like we've been saying. Clefable can do some work, but not enough that, you know, an Iron Head from a Kieran Black, or, it's too much pressure on one Mon to stop anything real from going on. I think this is a fairly simple, very simple game to like predict. Obviously, Zen prove us wrong, but I think this is Doruk's game.
You think Doruk's going? All right. Now, Swishy, what are your thoughts on this match?
Sticky web. That sticky web does everything. That sticky web and the fact that Zen has no hazard removal is the biggest problem, and I think that is actually what's gonna give it to Doruk, because he could set up rocks and he could set up sticky web, and there's nothing that Zen can really do about it. And I think that's gonna make the game be in Doruk's favor, especially since we all know how good of a battler he is.
Exactly. So and again, like, Doruk does have a surprise. Does have the surprise factor. Like, just last week, week 4, he brought Mantine with Gunk Shot. Who would have thought of that? I mean, I actually ran some calcs after the match.
Real quick.
Right.
We get a hello.
Oh, sure. Hello. So I see this. I saw the counts, right? And he had Mantine out against a Mega Gardevoir. Mega Gardevoir used Will-O-Wisp, causing the Mantine to get burned, and it did 26%. 26%. What the? So I calculated. If he had not gotten burned, it would have been a guaranteed 2-hit KO on a Mega Gardevoir. I've never seen a Mantine do that. And then it took only 30% from a Hyper Voice. Like, that is unheard of. There's very few mons out there that can take a Hyper Voice from Mega Gardevoir. Like, it's ridiculous. So, like, honestly, like, that alone is great. Like, the fact that he can bring a move on a mon that you wouldn't really expect, I feel like is definitely a thing that could put Doruk make this match in Doruk's favor. As Swishy said, he doesn't have access to Sticky Web, and that there's nothing on his team that's not grounded. Every single mon on Zen's team is grounded, so the moment they're out, they're automatically slower than anything on Doruk's team. So it's like you can make a scarf, a scarf Chandelure. Yeah, you definitely can. You can make Scarf Celebi. Yeah, sure, you can do that. But like, Sticky Web is up. What are you gonna do? Like, Galvantula itself is a very, very fast mon. Sticky Web is there for the rest of his team. You have Kieran Black. You have Chestnut. You have Mega Blastoise. These things. Galvantula. Well, yeah, Galvantula, but that's the one that's setting up Sticky Web. I'm talking about like the other ones. You have Crocodile, who can be run offensive, Choice Bandit, Moxie. Obviously, like, we're not saying that that's what he's gonna do, but we're like, he has so many more opportunities because Sticky Web is up. So like, he can come in and just wreck everything because you can't outspeed. Like Swishy, there's no hazard removal on his team. Like he traded Skarmory for Clefable. Clefable is a great mon, but as getting rid of Skarmory meant he got rid of the only thing on his entire team that was hazard control. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do now? Yeah, you got a Clefable now. Yeah, sure, but like, and the fact that you can't get rid of hazards, Stealth Rocks are gonna stay on the field, and so is Sticky Web. I don't know. Heck, if Doruk wants, he can set up 3 layers of spikes with Chestnut. What are you gonna do? You can't. He doesn't have to go for Defog on anything because he has Mega Blastoise. He can just spin whatever hazards you throw at him, right? Which means his hazards are always gonna stay on the field, and that's definitely gonna be detrimental to this match. Like I feel like, look, Zen, this is your second week coming in. Obviously, your last week wasn't so hot in your match, but I don't know. I feel like obviously bye week is next week, so hopefully you'll be able to make some trades or some changes, some drops and picks ups, and all that stuff to maybe make the team more accustomed to yourself. But as of right now, Doruk has this match in the bag. Cubchoo, predictions on potential end of the match score.
I'm gonna say 4-0.
4-0? Swishy, score.
2-0 under.
Yeah,
2-0.
4-0 for Daruk, but Doruk or Daruk.
Okay, so I'm gonna say a 3-0 win on Daruk's part. I feel like I honestly feel like he does have a chance to Zen. You could bring something to surprise us. Cubchoo did say, you know, Clefable is definitely a monster, and it definitely can puncture some holes in Doruk's team. But I honestly feel like team building wise and battle wise, I feel like Doruk just has a little bit over the edge in this match. The best Zen can do is close the gap on the differential, in my opinion. So then, moving on to Juan/J/Mr. or whatever the heck his new name is. I have no idea. This man's constantly changing the name. Konoha Munchlax versus Zach, the Rich and Ripariors. Swishy, go right ahead.
Okay. Well, the thing about Jay is that he is full of unpredictability, and that is not a bad thing. Being unpredictable can actually give you a really good advantage if the person doesn't know how to deal with it, which is what happened last time. He had a Specs Entei, which is something that no one would really expect. You would expect a physical Entei, but he brought in Choice Specs, and of course no one would really have anything for that, so he ended up winning because of that. So being unpredictable can, that can help you, but he's going against one of the best and well-balanced players in this whole league. And Zach is the type who can prepare for anything. He will bring in the walls when he has to, and he brings in the offense when he has to. He can pretty much prepare for anything that you are willing to throw at him. So I don't think unpredictability can pull through all the way for Zach. And that's why I think that Jay is going to have to do better than just being unpredictable, or better than just using gimmicky sets. I think that Jay's not a bad battler, but I honestly believe that Zach is a lot better, and because of that, I feel like Jay is going to need to step it up a lot if he's going to want to, take down Zach, because Zach is a really, really, really admirable player, and so I feel like Zach has got this, definitely.
Alright, Cubchoo, what are your thoughts?
A key thing to note for Zach's team for this matchup is Mamoswine, which Zach owns, is gonna do work. It does work to Gliscor, Entei, Tyrantrum, and Tangrowth, which are Jay's better, not better, but higher picks. Even Yuxi with the knockoff, Vion, Laron's gonna, cry when it gets hit with an Earthquake. Mamoswine does a lot of work against Jay's team, and Jay really has to play around it. He has Hitmonchan, which can do lots of hits, but then, there's answers from an Azo. It's, but Mamoswine puts a lot of pressure on Jay, and it's gonna be interesting to see how he can get around it.
Yeah, so like this match is definitely it's gonna be. I feel like it's definitely gonna be an uphill battle for Jay. One thing I want to mention is that, as you can see, obviously in the teams on the screen, Jay has a Mega Sharpedo, and I one of the things I always like to say is that Mega Sharpedos doesn't really work in draft, mainly due to the fact that you can't get speed boost. We couldn't really find a way to do it. Like maybe Baton Pass could work, but there's no like he doesn't have a Baton Pass on his team, so we can't like obviously that's not even an option. And the thing is, Zach has Thunderous Eye, not Therian. Right? He has Thunderous Eye, which has access to Prankster and Thunder Wave. So even if he had access to Speed Boost, it doesn't matter. Priority, Thunder Wave, and Mega Sharpedo's crippled. And it's like there's just I feel like there's just too much on Zach's team that can definitely handle Jay. And you know, Swishy said unpredictability is a thing, but I feel Zach is the type of player that likes to play the long game. You know, he you might be able to bring something that'll surprise him, but he has this ability to adapt in the middle of the match. Like he sees, oh, you have this, that's interesting, now let me start coming up with a plan mid-battle to just counter that. And I definitely like admire that about Zach as a player. The way he's able to change up his playstyle on the go. No, he's like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. Oh, wait, you brought this and that. Oh my, that surprised me. Let me start coming up with the plan right off the bat to make sure that doesn't throw me off anymore. And it's great. Honestly, I feel like that's where this matchup kind of shifts. I feel like Jay, you surprised us last week. I talked to Zen afterwards. He told me like he was completely ready for that Entei. Like he was ready to go. Right? He had his plan. He had a plan. You threw in a curveball by giving us a Specs Entei. That's great. And I feel like Switch unpredictability is sometimes a good thing. But when you have a player of Zach's caliber who can just in a snap of a finger can change his entire playstyle to adapt to whatever you throw at him, I feel like it's just too much. I don't think I know that Jay said he's getting serious, right? Like he told us last week that he was tired of these gimmicky stuff or this just crazy stuff. He wanted to win. He wants to win, and it showed. It showed last week. But so does Zach. Zach right now, if I remember correctly, Jay and Zach right now are in the running for the playoffs. Zach doesn't want to take this loss because he wants to be in the playoffs, and he has the team for it. He definitely has the team to handle pretty much anything that Jay wants to throw at him. And as Cubchoo pointed out, he has a Mamoswine that can definitely break some holes in there. And he also has, one of the better megas. Like if he has a chance to set up a Mega Altaria is a monster. Cotton Guard, especially defensive. Woo! What takes that down? I honestly don't know. So I feel like there's just too much for Jay to handle on Zach's team, in my opinion. Anyways, any final thoughts?
You can go.
I think Zach is gonna win 2-0.
2-0? Okay. Cubchoo?
I'm gonna say a 3-0 for Zach, and just one more thing to note. I want to see how this happens. Zach doesn't have a solid answer for Rotom Wash, so that's gonna be another key mod to look out for. Rotom Wash.
Oh, Rotom Wash is definitely a great Pokemon.
Yeah, but he doesn't have Zach doesn't have a grass type. Wait.
That-
He has Executor, doesn't he?
No, he just traded it, I believe.
He traded it? Okay.
Maybe for throw, maybe?
I mean, he does have Blissey.
You're right. That's not really an answer, but it's a stop, so you're right.
I mean,
still,
it's definitely an option he could throw out.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting though to see how that turns out.
Alright, so
But I still think 3-0 for Zach.
3-0? Okay, well I mean, like I said, definitely going to be an uphill battle for Jay, and this is definitely going to be a long match. Zach is going to try his hardest to make sure that he brings the right mons when he needs to. So I definitely got to give him. I'll give him a 3-0 as well. I feel like Zach definitely has he has the ability to definitely bring this. I believe last week one of the things he definitely did against I believe he faced Kraft last week. Don't quote me on that. I'm not too sure. He bought Scarf Memo, and let's just say the moment that Scarf Memo came out, everything died. Raikou, gone. Terrakion, gone. And I forget what the other mon was, but it was gone. There was nothing he could do. So like I honestly feel like Zach, I feel like you got this, man. I do think you got this. Next up we have speaking of Kraft of the Manchester Skitties versus our new player Steven of the, I cannot even remember for the life of me what his team name is.
Ludicolo.
The Ludicolos, that's what it was. Now, I'm gonna say this right now. I feel like this match is kind of hard to predict, mainly due to the fact that we have no idea how Steven plays. But Kraft does have a very, very solid team. Definitely a threat. But Joey pointed this out last preview last week, and I kind of agreed with him. I don't think he can play the long game. I feel like Kraft is really good in the beginning, right? He gets his momentum, and he's able to go through for a while. But if the game goes too long, I feel like he starts losing it. Maybe that's just us. Maybe we see something different. I don't know. But like I said, this match is really hard to, at least for me, to predict, just based on the fact that we don't have any idea what Steven is like as a player, as a team builder, and as a battler. Cubchoo, thoughts?
Yeah, just with this team, I know you didn't pick it, but Cresselia, Whimsicott, Mandibus can really draw out a game, which is not good for Kraft because he kind of has a burst momentum and then loses it as it goes on. So, and then he also has some good late game like Doublade and Megaglele. Doublade and Garchomp and a little bit Megaglele. It can get some Ice Shark kills. Are very good at getting those last couple of hits, last couple of kills. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Kraft can deal with it, because Kraft, with this burst of energy from his team building, because he's a very good team builder, how it's going to kind of wind down, or even maybe just completely burn out towards the end of the match. I don't want to see it happen, but it's very likely.
Swishy.
Kraft is another person who works unpredictability into his team building, and that's, like I mentioned with Jay, that's not a bad thing. To be unpredictable is one thing, but to be unpredictable and make it work is another thing. And Kraft is one of those people who can be unpredictable, but at the same time make it work. And he did that with me, which is why I lost him. It was because he used something that I couldn't predict, that it was very unpredictable what he used against me. I said that I had no idea could even be used, and I respect that. And Kraft does change, like the way he plays does change as the game goes on. You can tell that something's bothering him while he's playing. You could tell that he gets flustered, and you could tell that he gets frustrated whenever he's not winning, or whenever he feels like he's getting close to losing. That is when he does his worst. So even though his battling skills aren't great, his team building skills can make up for that. But team building skills can only go so far, because in the end, it is the battle that matters the most. And I honestly don't have anything to say when it comes to the new person, because I have not seen them battle. I don't know how they battle or anything. So I can't predict. I can't say who's gonna win. But all I can say is that hopefully they are prepared to be able to deal with sets that are not, actual sets, like sets that are something you would never expect from certain Pokemon.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, because if you're gonna go against Craft, you have to be literally prepared for everything. Because he brings in things that you would not expect. You can't expect normal sets with him. He's gonna bring in something that's you wouldn't expect.
I know,
So
like
I
I remember in our match he brought Calm Mind Manaphy.
He
Calm
had
Mind.
Choice Scarf Articuno in our battle, and he had Choice Scarf Acrobatics Crobat. Well, but the acrobatics was a mistake. He did say he was meant to be Brave Bird, but it was acrobatics. And he had a Choice Scarf. He had the Choice Scarf Articuno and Crobat, and that was like a really weird thing. Like you never see that. And so, if this person cannot handle unpredictability, then I don't think they can win. But if they're balanced enough to be able to expect things that aren't usually expected, then he should be able to at least put up a good battle. I am hoping this will be good.
Awesome. Now, moving on to the last match of the Team Magma Conference, Nakreen, Lake of Rage Gyarados versus Cubchoo, Long Island Rough-N' Riders. Now, Cubchoo, since this is your match, we're going to save your thoughts for last. Swishy, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
It's Cub versus who again?
Nakreen.
Nakreen. Oh yeah. Okay, Cub, you have a more balanced team, and I think that's what's gonna mainly pull through. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be easy because this is pure offense, and pure offense is nothing to mess with. Even though Nakreen hasn't been doing well because of the fact that it's pure offense, it's still pretty hard to win against. It's weird because that's why all of his matches are either very close losses or very close wins. Because of the pure offense. If you don't have a good enough wall to take that hit, then it's gonna die. But if you have something that can take the hit and throw it back, then he's gonna die. It's really faint, whatever. But anyways, I think because of the fact that your team is more balanced and I think your team can take a hit, that is what's gonna drive you to win. Because all he can do is throw, but he can't take it. So I think that you are probably gonna win, probably like 1 or 2-0 though, because of how strong Nakreen's team is. But due to the fact that it's just pure offense, that is the major problem. All he has is Tentacruel, and Tentacruel is bulky, but it's not enough. You can't just have one defensive Pokemon.
Oh yeah, Sandslash too.
Work. Well, he has Sandslash, but you can't just have those 2 Pokemon. Like that's not enough to be able to take hits.
Yeah, exactly.
So
like, Go ahead.
I just feel like because of the fact that he's just way too hyper offense, that is his downfall. And because of that, I feel like you're gonna win this. Hey, go ahead.
Alright, yeah, like, I agree with Swishy's point. Like, last season, Nakreen had the same mindset, just go full on offense and try to wreck house as much as possible. Which, I'm a person who I honestly believe that Nakreen has a problem with walls in terms of like using them, because this is the second season in a row where he goes full on hyper offense, and I do agree that hyper offense is good, but only in small doses. If you don't have mons on your team to be able to take a hit, you're essentially just forcing yourself to play a game of I just gotta kill everything as fast as possible, because if you don't, then your Pokemon's gonna be worn down and it's gonna die. Like I look at Cubchoo's team, and I see Florges, I see Alamomola, I see Vileplume, I see Cobalion. Those 4 mons right there can be run and be so bulky that I feel like if he just brings the right ones against Nakreen's team, Nakreen can't do anything. He can't do anything. Like his losses this season, as so far, have been because he could not break through the walls. He just couldn't. There was no way for him to be able to break through certain mons in the opponent's side. And like I feel like that's gonna be happening for the rest of the season. Obviously, the bye week is next week. And I hope to God that he looks at his team and maybe reanalyze what he's got, because at this very moment, he's in a disadvantage. Sure, maybe there's a week that he can just go in and run through everybody, like run through the entire team. Sure, is that possible? Of course, but the fact of the matter is, he hasn't been able to handle walls effectively. And that's the thing that hyper offense has a huge. That's the reason why hyper offense is such a problem. If you are not able to run through your opponent, you're going to lose. You need to have a balance. As Swishy said, he has 2 walls: Tentacruel, Sandslash. Yes, the Tentacruel, I feel like it's a very good wall. I honestly, I feel like Swishy may be underestimating a little bit, but like I do believe Tentacruel is a good wall. But then you look at Cubchoo again. He has Tornadus T, Victini, and Electrode. 3 mons that can just handle the only really decent wall on Nacrean's team. Sandslash is good, but let's be honest. I'm being perfectly honest. He hasn't even brought it once. Not even once. So like honestly, I didn't even expect him. If he brings it, I mean Tornadus runs HP Ice or Grass Knot. Like what are you gonna do to that? Sandslash can't touch Tornadus. Not Tornadus, Thundurus, unless he runs Stone Edge. But then you gotta run into the problem of Stone Edge misses. And I don't know. I just feel like Nacrean's hyper offense is definitely gonna fall again this week. It's not gonna be a complete victory on Cubchoo's part. Sorry, Cubchoo. I know you probably don't want to hear that, but it's definitely. I don't think it's gonna be like just a full-on win. I do feel it's gonna be as close as every other match Nacrean has had thus far. But I do give Cubchoo at least the 2-0. Cubchoo, if you want to give your thoughts on your match, feel free.
Yeah, this is I'm gonna make it short because it's kind of weird to talk about a match. Because knowing me, I'll give something away. But yeah, his team is very, it's a spear, but it's a very breakable one. As long as you dodge the initial tip, you're fine. He does have a lot of threats. Terrakion scares me a lot. And Ambipom can do a lot, which I'm nervous about. But like other than that, like it's definitely a force to be reckoned with, but it's a very with my team at least, because I have a lot of good mods and enough offense to strike back. It shouldn't be too difficult. I don't want to jinx myself, but like it's gonna be a close match, but it's at least team building. It's not too terrible to just this is gonna hit hard. I have to either hit harder or take it. So it's I don't see too many tricks up his sleeve, but it doesn't prove me wrong.
Yeah, so that's Team Magma.
Also, real quick.
Sure.
Were you still recording? We good?
No, go ahead.
Did you bring up Ditto? Because Ditto kind of does work. Because I hit faster.
Oh yeah, he does have a Ditto, like which it kind of helps out with hyper offense, because you're basically using your opponent's hyper offense against them. So that's actually pretty. I mean, it could put in work. Not gonna lie. And now we move on to the Team Aqua Conference. I hate this conference so much.
I do too.
There's so many good players here. It's ridiculous. But anyways, we're gonna start off with Aggron of the Corkscrew Cradleys versus North of the Trenton Tortugas. Cubchoo, what are your thoughts?
So North has I think who's he played recently? 2 very good people, right?
Wait,
Sorsen.
Yeah, well he almost beat me last week and Bloom the week before. So he basically beat the previous number 1 spot of the Team Aqua Conference and then the current number 1 conference.
Yeah. Talking from experience, playing against like that top people is very challenging. I played Six Paths and then Doric, so I know. And it's annoying that like I won one of them. I lost against Six Paths, but like you will break through. That's the thing, because you're in such a mindset of like playing against not playing against. Sorry, preparing and doing all this work to to get these very close victories. You will break through, and I think this is the week to just take on Aggron. That being said, Aggron has the kind of the right amount of defense for this team. I'm trying to pull up the team. Enough that
it's gonna be, I think, at least team matchup wise, a little bit harder for you to team build. Because he has, help me out, Melodic, Mega Aggron. Still trying to find it. Yeah, Melodic, Sylveon, Mega Aggron, and even Snorlax. It's very, like, that's just the right amount. That's very hard to get even one or two mons that break through it that kind of hit everything. So that's gonna be a challenge. I think you can do it with how you've been playing, and I think Aggron, I love you, but I don't think you'll be able to pull through.
Swishy, thoughts? Swishy?
Sorry, I was muted.
What are your thoughts on this match?
I am so happy with North because of that last battle. I am, like, I was honestly not losing faith, but I felt like he's just so, not out of it, but more like he's so down on himself, and I feel like he doesn't believe in himself enough, and because of that negativity kind of spreads out to the battle itself. I feel like if you have that mentality of I'm gonna lose, then I feel like that really does affect the way you play. And he did have that mentality most likely with you, but he proved in that battle, he proved that he is good. And I always knew he was good. He beat me before. I know he's good. I just feel like I feel like he just underestimates himself a lot. But I know he is a good battler, and I know he is a good team builder. Like, the battle that he had with you, he was able to show unpredictability, and that completely changed the way that you had to play the game with this Gengar. I feel like he can do this. I honestly want him to win. I honestly do. I love Aggron. Like, I think he's really cool, and I consider him a friend. But I really, really, really want North to win this one. I really do. I really believe he can do it, because I feel like North is very underestimated in this league, because, he isn't really around too much to talk or anything, and also due to the fact that he's not really high up in the power rankings, but he is a good player. He is. And I feel like he just needs to show it. And with this battle, I feel like he can beat Aggron and show that he can win, that he is a good player. Because honestly, to be able to almost beat you, and to be able to almost beat the two people who were basically at the top, that's impressive. That is really impressive. Because some people, Bloom has 6-0'd someone before. And granted, they weren't good, but still. And and for North to be able to, like, at least scare him and, like, show that, oh, I might actually lose, that's impressive. So honestly, I think North can do this. I really do. And I really, really, really hoping that he does.
Yeah, so, like, that's the thing that I'm on that board as well. Like, North is a very, very close friend of mine, and he was also my student back in the day. Like, I'm actually the one that got him into competitive battling, and it's because of me that he's in the league. And I feel like that the only problem with North is his confidence. I feel like, I I will give it to him. He scared the fuck out of me in our match. Like, I didn't go into the match like, oh, I'm totally gonna win this because I taught him everything he knows. But like, I was confident. I was like, okay, so this is my friend. I did help him out to get into competitive battling. I kind of have an idea of what to expect, and if I see certain mons, I know what he's gonna do. He threw me off. He brought a substitute life orb Gengar, which completely changed the tide of battle. I had a Cuffagus out on the field, right? I did. He sends out a Gengar. I'm like, okay, so he's gonna go for Shadow Ball. Let me switch out to let something die, and then bring in the next mon, which was a Latios that I had made specifically Scarf to deal with the Gengar. But he went for Substitute, which forced me to literally change the entire playstyle that I was going with. Which is something that I feel like that's a thing that I feel like if you're a good player, you know how to adapt into the match, and I ended up having to do that. But the fact that North forced me to do that is impressive, and the fact that when he faced Bloom, that was crazy. Honestly, I feel like his loss to Bloom was definitely like I said, when he gets down on himself and he starts doubting himself, he doesn't play as well as he does in the earlier part of the match, which I feel like is what affected that match, and also affected his match against me. Like, he went for Focus Blast, on my Suicune. He hit, but Suicune lived, which allowed me to get up a rest. So it's like, I feel like the way this is crazy. Like, I feel like North definitely has this, and the reason why I say this is like, Aggron, you gotta wait. Last week I gotta say you got lucky. I feel bad. I'm sorry if it offends you or anything, but you literally got lucky because you played Frank, who literally got into the league barely the day before. We had to kick out the previous player. We were like, hey, it's Thursday. Hey, dude, you're in the league. Come in. Here's your team. Your battle is tomorrow.
Good luck.
And it was. So I feel like he didn't have the time to prep for Aggron. And I feel like that's partially the reason why Aggron was able to win. Because even Frank said, I just threw a bunch of mods together and went for it because he didn't have time to analyze his team or his opponents. So and I faced Aggron. That man did not predict a single thing in the entire match. He just I don't know. Like, to me, I feel like North. Obviously, I hope you go into this match confident and ready to take a win. I do not want you to give up at any point in the match. I want you to always be positive and say, I can do this. I can win this. Even if for some reason you're behind at any point in the match, you should definitely always have in that back of your mind, there is a way to bring this back. Just adapt.
You good?
I'm here. Swishy?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what happened there.
My Skype made a noise. I'm like, oh.
I know. It's like.
I like unmuted my mic because I was like, oh, okay, I'm on mute, and I was gonna say something real quick, and I like unmuted myself, but as soon as I pressed unmute, it just went doo, and I was like, wait, did I hang up instead? Alright, well,
Alright,
are
want
you
to see
ready?
scores and then jump to the next one?
Yeah, so we'll do the scores right now. Let me. Alright, so Cubchoo, what is the potential score for this match?
This is I'm gonna say a 2-0 with on North side in North's favor.
Okay. Swishy?
No, bring me that 2-0. You have to. I think you could do it. 2-0.
2-0.
I love Aggron, but 2-0 on North.
I also agree. I do believe this is definitely North's time to shine. We're all rooting for you, North, just so you know. I'm also going to give you the 2-0 victory. And I hope that the entire match, your mindset is, I can do this. That's all I ask for. Is that the entire match, your mindset is, I can do this. Because if that's how you go in, if that's what you go in, I definitely think you can take this.
Also, even if you don't win this, I believe that you can at least take him down at least to a 1-0. Because honestly, I love North's team, and I definitely believe you can do it. Definitely.
All right, now moving on to Zoetsky or Frank of the Sherbrooke Talonflames versus Six Paths of the Kentucky Kabutops. Swishy, start us off.
Yeah. Six Path. I admire him so much when it comes to Pokemans because he always manages, every single battle, always manages to somehow beat you with a 2-0. Even if it seems like you're winning, even if you're like, yo, I got this, he'll always somehow find a way to make a comeback, and that is very awesome, honestly. I lost to him last week, and even though I'll admit, I could have beaten him, and I did make mistakes. But nothing I could do now. I lost, and it was a really good game, and I'm honestly proud of myself for making it a 2-0 because I honestly believe that he would have destroyed me. So I am proud of myself for that. But honestly, he is debatably one of the best players, if not the best. Because he is an excellent team builder. Because if you look at his team itself is not that great. It's not. Like, besides Mew, there's not really too much to say with this team. But he somehow is able to make that team terrifying. Because he knows exactly what to bring. He plans out every single thing. He knows exactly how to battle the specific person that he's going against. He studies everything. And that is... to be able to do that and to always end up winning and to be undefeated is very admirable. And... I don't really know what to say. I really think that he's gonna win like he always does. Probably a 2-0 like usual as well.
Alright, Cubchoo, what are your thoughts?
Alright, Frank, you said it yourself. Your team's kind of sucks. It's got, Ferrothorn, Latias, Chansey, bulky as hell, and Zapdos, bulky as hell. Again, Meloetta, bulky as hell. You go anywhere. Sorry. You, Charizard X, which is kind of like a weaker Swishy where it's all these bulky stuff, but you don't have
a weaker Swishy.
Yeah, because like it's all these bulky mons: Chansey, Latias, Ferrothorn, Zapdos, Meloetta. Again, just naming them. And then Mega Charizard X for offense and Toxicroak for offense, and Banette, Drifloon, and Lapras are great at warming a bench, so they're nice. But like, they don't. It doesn't go anywhere. And I know you didn't pick up this team. And like you said, it sucks, and it does suck. And I think, honestly, we have our trades coming up. You have 3 before everyone does. Get something, honestly. You gotta get in there and make some trades, because you're kind of losing a team preview with a lot of these matches. This is, unfortunately, a little more than team preview. 6-path is very good, and I think this is gonna be this is gonna be a 6-path game where he wins by more than 2-0. Unfortunately for Frank. Fortunately for 6-paths, he's gonna keep doing what he's doing, except maybe have a safer victory where it's not 2-0.
Yeah, like I said earlier, Aggron got a little bit lucky because Frank, he kind of came in last minute. It was essentially last minute. He didn't have time to prep. It's unfortunate that his next match is against the current best in the power rankings. Because then I honestly don't think he's gonna. Frank, I know this is just start like Cubchoo just said. You admitted it yourself. You don't like this team. But honestly, I just see this as a match of let's just survive until the bye week. That's basically it. Just
make it a 2-0.
Exactly. Just try to lower the differential. I think that's the best you can hope for. I mean, I'm not trying to be like a negative over here. If you can beat 6-path, I mean, congratulations. Like,
prove us wrong. It'll be amazing.
It will definitely be like the upset of the season, if you're able to pull it off. But there's just something. Swishy said earlier. There's just something about 6-path. I've noticed. I noticed it. He doesn't care about the early game. He doesn't even care about the middle of the game. He is a person who's always of a mindset of, where am I gonna be at late game? You look at all his matches, every single one of them. There's always something that he has prepared for the end game. Most notably, his match against Joey, where Joey had to stabilize, and 6-path was like, I have a Tauros that I want to save. I want this thing to wreck out. What did he do? He forced the Sableye out and taking it down. What did 6-path win with? Tauros. Same thing happened with Swishy. He battled him. He battled her. He knew that Mega Lopunny was a threat. What did he do? He brought it out, took care of it, and then he was able to go. And he just be able to go in the end. So like, I feel he's always a person who's constantly planning for the end of the match. You can be like, oh, it's turn 17 and I have 5 Pokemon left and 6-path only has 3. I'm totally gonna take this. No, you cannot go with that kind of mindset because those 3 bonds he has left are the ones he's gonna use to literally destroy the rest of your team. Because that's honestly the way I see him play. Granted, I think this might be the week. I do agree with Cubchoo. I do believe this is the week where he wins by a larger margin. But who knows? I mean, Frank could surprise us, or Six Path could just be like, I don't care, like, because like I said, he does not care about early game. I don't think he's gonna be the kind of guy who comes in and sets up and just wrecks everything in the first 4 turns, right? I don't think he's that type of player, but he might surprise me. I don't know. Like, I'm intrigued. I do think this is the week for him to win with a larger margin. I'm gonna give him the 4-0 victory. I mean, Frank, like I said, if you pull this off, biggest upset of the season, hands down. But I have to give the 4-0 victory to Six Path.
Alright, I want to say, I don't think it's going to be 6-0. I don't think Frank's honestly that bad. He just has a bad team. I want to say 5-0. Because Six Path is, Frank's decent. He's going to, chip away stuff. And Six Path also, I don't think, has the biggest mindset for differential. So I'm going to say, 4-0 or probably a 5-0. If, yeah.
Okay. And then Swishy, you said it was a 2-0?
Yeah, 2-0 like usual.
He's just gonna maintain his standard. I get it.
Like, he's gonna purposely sacrifice Pokemon just to get 2-0.
I can see that. I can actually see that. I don't know why. Alright. Sorry. Moving on to the next match, which is my match versus Joey of the FC Bagalonas. Cubchoo, thoughts?
This match is gonna be extremely close. Yeah. So a lot of your threats like Keldeo and Suicune are gonna be key because they just set up and kind of are very hard to take down. But Sableye kind of puts a stop on it. I'm just looking at Mons. It's gonna be interesting. Zangoose, I think, can break through. Barring Registeel and Cofagrigus, can break through your team pretty well. This battle is gonna be a lot of give and take, and it might just end up with 2 walls at the end on both sides. The 2 defensive Mons on the end up with just trying to hack away at each other.
Okay. All right, Swishy, what are your thoughts on this match?
I am extremely excited for this match because it is the best player from last season versus basically the best player in this season. And last season, you actually lost to Joey, and
Yes, I did.
I honestly, I'm not saying this to be biased because of how close we are. I think you can do this because your team, I hate to say it, but your team is the spooks. It is scary. You have Keldeo, you have Volcarona, you have Registeel, the worst Reggie.
Crocoon.
Crocoon, yes, Crocoon. Crocoon has probably put in the most work in your team. Every match that I've seen you, Crocoon always manages to put in the most work, or at least from what I've seen. And Joey hasn't been doing it as well in this season because he lost to Six Path, but Six Path is Six Path, so nothing you can really do. But Joey is still undeniably a really, really good player, and he's still a really, really good battler, and he has really, really good team building skills. And you admitted yourself, you said it multiple times, how you and Joey are basically equal. You both improve at the same pace, and you both basically battle the same, not the same way, but you guys battle, your skills are basically at the same level. And I feel like in the end, it's just going to be stalling and stalling and stalling, because you guys are just going to keep predicting each other, and it's going to be prediction after prediction after prediction. It is probably going to be the longest battle, because you two are just going to keep trying to predict each other. And honestly, it's going to be really, really crazy. It's really hard to pick who's going to win because of how equal you both are. But I do want to give it to you based on how well the team is. and you do have one of the scariest teams in this league. So I definitely want to give that one to you, but I am not gonna say like a 3-0 or 2-0. I honestly think it's gonna be a 1-0.
Okay. Now, my thoughts on this. This is Joey, guys. This is motherfucking Joey. As Swishy said, I have on multiple occasions, and even last season, I always said this. And Joey and I are pretty much at a consensus where we do believe we're basically we're the same. We play in not the same manner, but we're both good at team building. We're at the same level in terms of team building. We're pretty much at the same level in terms of battling skills. We're at the same level in terms of predictions. This is a mind game match, to be perfectly honest. Last season it was the same way. Going into this match, I knew this wasn't going to be easy. It never is easy against Joey. It's a mind game. It's basically who flinches first. Last season, unfortunately, I was the one who flinched first, but it was still not a total loss. I mean, there was definitely a chance for me to take it back, and I almost did. I could have. It didn't happen, but that's okay. Now, this season, as Swishy said, Joey has not been doing so well, but that doesn't mean anything because it's still freaking Joey. And I'm going into this match, and I've been saying this for a while now. I honestly believe, like, Six Path is great, right? He's undoubtedly #1 in the power rankings. He's definitely one of the better players in the entire league right now. He's gonna be a scary battle, right? I'm not looking forward to battling this man. Okay, I don't think anybody is. But at the end of the day, I always see Joey as my scariest match because, as good as, in terms of Six Path, I could be going, in the whole match. I could be winning the match the entire time, and Six Path could just take it over at the end. Like, it just happens, So, that's the thing I'm scared about, just him, coming back with a vengeance in the middle of the battle. But with Joey, it's literally a strength, a match of wills and of mentality. And I feel like Joey, and I'm not here to discredit anybody else. I don't. That's not what I'm trying to do here. But I feel like Joey is the type of player that really forces me to play mind games. I honestly, I'm definitely scared of this match. Even though I'm #1 right now in terms of Team Aqua Conference, I am #1. I do not care because this is still Joey, and he is still a scary player, and this match is gonna be scary as hell. I'm gonna be nervous the entire time. I'm pretty sure Joey thinks the same way. I mean, he doesn't like to admit anything most of the time, but I'm pretty sure he always agrees. He's not gonna go into this match thinking, oh, I'm definitely gonna take this. No, at least I hope not. I hope he is the same way. He's like, okay, this is definitely gonna be a hard match, and I need to prepare for it, just as I am. I'm definitely getting. This match is scary, guys. It is. My team is great. His team is great. We both have threats. We both have walls, and we both have to play our freaking minds off. So I'm definitely looking forward to this match, but I'm still scared as hell. I'm not gonna go in saying I'm gonna win this. Okay, I do not have any thoughts on that. I just hope it's a good game. That's all I can ask.
As unfortunate as it is, when it is so close, I think hacks might be a deciding factor. I don't like saying it, but it might happen.
Like, one miss can decide the whole game.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So this is definitely gonna be a crazy match. And then finally, the last match: Swishy of the Green Bay Giggling Core guys versus Bloom, the Philadelphia Flygons. Cubchoo, what are your thoughts?
So I don't think Bloom would have enough to break through Swishy's team. Swishy obviously has a brick wall of a team with a bunny on top of it. Yeah. I don't see much, and Bloom can't even set up against Swishy because Swishy has Quagsire, who's unaware. So any setup won't do anything. So which is the plan of Swishy's team. So it's very hard to break through, and he's gonna have to constantly chip away. Which I don't think Bloom's team is really made for. I mean, he's got Sandstorm, which might do work to some, but that's about it for like miles. Might have to, you know, bring walls back with 1 or 2 hard hitters. Other than that, it's gonna be rough. On Swishy's side, you know, Swishy, this is kind of her chance to shine. While Bloom is very good, you know, Bloom doesn't really have this like, very big offensive powerhouse. It's a very Bloom seems very like in sync with each other, but nothing's gonna hit like a truck, which is kind of Swishy's turf. You go.
Okay, so as my friend Cubchoo was saying here, this is definitely gonna be. I mean, I know Swishy said that my match versus Joey was gonna be the longest. I think this one is gonna be the longest match, and like this fat team. Oh my god! Like there's just so much bulk here, and here's the thing. I mean, Bloom. I'm not gonna take away anything from this man. Okay, so he was number one in the power number one in the power rankings for like I believe 3 weeks in a row. No, 2 weeks. No, the first 2 weeks. Before being overtaken by Six Paths and his freaking crazy battling skills. But he was number one in the Aqua rankings since the get-go, essentially. This man is nothing to be scoffed at. Okay, he is gonna go in this match, expecting a win. He's like, okay, I got this. I can bring in, this and that and this and that. But he doesn't really have too much in terms of offensive presence to be able to break down some walls, right? As Cubchoo mentioned, he has setup in Tyranitar, and I also would like to say he has Zygarde. But as Cubchoo also mentioned, Swishy has a Quagsire with Unaware, who doesn't give a damn if you're at +6. He's gonna be like, oh, I'm sorry, did you set up in my face? I don't think you did, never mind. Like Quagsire doesn't care. And so like I honestly feel like Swishy has the team to where like Bloom's gonna throw out a Mon, that's it. I'm like Swishy's like, oh, this wall's not gonna work, let me switch to the other one and I'll be able to handle that. And then which is gonna force this is the battle where Swishy's literally gonna have to, or Bloom is gonna be forced to constantly switch out to try to gain some momentum. But the problem is that he switches out, Swishy could be like, oh, well, you switched into this wall because you think you're gonna beat it. Well, I can just go out to this other wall, and then you're not gonna be able to touch that one either. So it's like, it's a matter of will Bloom be able to break down these walls? Which honestly, I don't think he can. He has most of his Mons are physical attackers. Swishy has so many physically offensive Mons, like not just bulky, but like physically offensive. She has Landorus T, Wheezy, Quagsire. You have Golem, Trevenant. Bronzong can be run physically or special. Salamence has Intimidate. See what I mean? Like Landorus also has Intimidate, but it's also very defensive. That's my point. Like all these walls, she could just switch out. Okay, so this wall is kind of weak to that one. It's definitely defensive enough to take a hit, but I'm just gonna throw out this other one that you can't even touch. And that's basically how the game is gonna go. It's gonna be a constant. Swish is basically just gonna have to. He's gonna be wearing down. She's gonna be wearing all his Mons down, and I honestly don't think Bloom is ready for that. I don't.
I think like, this match for Bloom's success, he kind of has to play like Jay, and just like throw something crazy. Like I know it's used like special T-Tar, or even like just an offensive Meowstic. Just get some surprise in there. Just to get some surprise, significant damage or some surprise even kills, because that's you're gonna do it slowly. So the initial shock could just be enough to get bigger threats through.
Yeah, that could work, but again,
I know again, but
it's gonna be hard. It's definitely gonna be very hard for Bloom this week. I hope he's not thinking this is going to be an easy win, because it's definitely not going to be an easy win. There's going to be a stall battle, and it's going to take a while for him to break through. Swishy, any thoughts on your match?
I am intimidated. I am nervous, but I actually kind of feel confident. I'm not gonna say that, you know, I'm gonna win. I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, definitely, this is a piece of cake, because it's not. I know how Bloom plays, and he's pretty scary. And honestly, I have a lot of respect for him as you know, fellow Pokemon player. But honestly, I have a lot of confidence for this battle. I think I can at least not make it an easy win for him. And hopefully I can actually win this, because I was looking at his team earlier, like Sora-san, you were helping me, you know, team build and stuff, and you know, I was going through all of his Pokemon, and I have an answer for most of them, and that's what's giving me the confidence. Because from what I can see, I think I have the advantage team-wise, but you know, it all goes down to the battle in the end. So, and he is a good battler, so this is definitely going to be a really hard match for me. But hopefully, I can finally get a win, because I want to win. I really do. I don't really care much for winning usually, but I want to win now, because I feel like I haven't really shown myself much in this league, because it feels kind of disappointing to go from someone who was 3rd place last season to be someone who is 11th place. I want to show that I'm better than that. Yeah, we're still early in the league, but still, I feel like I'm not the best, but I think I'm a bit better than decent. So I want to show myself in this battle. So going against someone who is at the top and to be able to beat them, it's gonna mean the world to me. And so I'm really looking forward to this battle. I'm excited.
Alright, I'm honestly, I gotta give you the win this week. I don't think it's gonna be a too crazy a win. Okay, I don't think you're gonna 6-0 this man, because it's blue.
Sweep.
I do see a 2-0 win. I do think you can definitely wear down his mons with your walls, slowly but surely. Like, there's gonna be like a 70 turn battle. I can just see it now. Just every turn, a wall just starts slowly wearing down the opponent. But I definitely do see you taking a win here with 2-0.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 2-0 just because you got one wall is kind of nothing without its support. So I'm gonna say you will at least keep 2 walls alive. I think Megalophony might go down at one point if you bring it. I think Megalophony might go down at one point, which is just gonna make the battle slow as hell. But I think this a 2-0 is gonna be a result on your favor.
Yeah, so I mean, this is definitely an interesting week. Week 5 is gonna be crazy. I don't know. How do you guys feel about this week as a whole? Are you excited?
I'm ready to play. I didn't play last week because the guy forfeited.
Like, I just want to
Oh yeah, that's something that you guys did. Like, okay, so Cubchoo was like super pumped for his battle last week, and then we
no offense.
we had a no-show. We had a no-show.
I went from playing 1st place to 2nd place to 3rd place to like 15th. And I was ecstatic, and it didn't happen. So, you know.
Yeah. So like he's honestly like he's kind of honestly I feel like he's just ready to battle somebody at this point. And I think that might be the thing that hurts Nakreen even more, is that he's like, I didn't get to battle last week, so I'm gonna just go all in, you know. But honestly, like this, I honestly think this week is definitely gonna be amazing. And I can't wait for a lot of these matches are so great. They really are. They're amazing. And there's a lot at stake here. This is the week before the bye week, so it's kind of like it's time to make it or break it. You know, this is where you have to prove that, hey, I got this. I can win, you know. I can be good in this league. You know, I can make it to the playoffs. You know, so I know it's still kind of early. Obviously, don't become overconfident. but like this is the time to shine. The bye week is gonna have a lot of changes, a lot of drops, a lot of pickups. So this is your chance to say, hey, my team was good even before the bye week. So yeah, it's definitely intriguing. I'm definitely looking forward to all the matches this week. Before we go, thoughts. What do you guys think is the match of the week in the Team Magma Conference?
We just have to look at it again. It's been a while. Sorry. Yeah, I'm getting there. Okay. Honestly, Jay and Zach.
Jay and Zach. Swishy?
I'm looking forward to. I have to actually think about this one. I'm actually looking forward to Craft and the new person because I am very curious to see how this person plays.
Okay, well, I'm actually gonna give it to Jay and Zach as well. I feel like the fact that Jay's unpredictability is a thing, and then Zach obviously with his ability to adapt in the middle of the battle is definitely going to be showcased a lot in this battle, and I definitely think it's going to be a very close match. Honestly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What about Team Aqua? What do you guys think? Match of the week.
You versus Joey. You versus Joey. You versus Joey. Definitely.
Cubchoo?
Oh, I'm gonna say Swish and Bloom because that's excuse me, the most likely to be an upset. So I want to see it. I want to see Swishy win.
I gotta admit, like I agree with Cubchoo. Like I mean, I'm definitely excited for my match versus Joey, and it's definitely gonna be a heated match. Like that is not gonna be a sweep from anybody. Okay, but the fact that Swishy, you're going against Bloom, and this is like Bloom lost last week, right? He lost last week, so he's obviously gonna try to go for a win here. But just the fact that he has to go against such a stally battle. That's what it essentially is. He has to go up against such like a wall. I feel like your ability to essentially break him is more exciting than my match versus Joey.
Break him in half.
I mean, don't kill the man, but
we're gonna slowly break him in half with 10 walls.
With Reg Eyes. One day, like next season, I am gonna draft Regirock, Reg Eyes, and Reg.
Oh God!
I will get them all. Possibly.
All right.
I don't know if I can make it work.
Reggie Giga is kind of bad, but anyways, that's besides the point. But that's essentially gonna be it. This is gonna be an exciting week, definitely. And I want to thank my guest, Cubchoo.
Hey, you're welcome.
And Swishy.
Hey.
I hope you guys are looking forward to the matches this week. Like I said earlier, I will leave a link in the description to Agron's channel, and as soon as his video goes up, a link to that as well. And also, I want to thank Glitch City for this awesome soundtrack that you're hearing in the background. I was able to get permission for her to use her music in the background of these videos, so you're going to be hearing a lot more of them.
We've been talking about it. We literally love Glitch City, so...
Oh, definitely. I definitely recommend you guys check her out. I'm going to leave her YouTube channel in the description, as well as a link to this track and a link to her Twitter. Definitely go check her out.
And as always...
Huh?
And I said, and a link to this link.
And the Legend of Zelda Wikipedia, so you get all those links.
Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been SoresanCrockxen, and I'll see you guys in future videos.